What is up, everybody? It's Blind Metal Gamer here, and it's now time for another podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be giving everybody a quick update on game streaming going forward, what that's going to mean as far as content. I'm going to be giving everybody an update on my plans for the channel as far as that goes, and I'm going to be giving everybody an update on some of the things such as the PS4 C-bomb situation, how it could affect the PS5, and how it might affect things going forward as far as my content and all that good stuff. I got a couple other things I want to talk about. So, with that being said, we're going to get started here right away. This is real quick a reminder. This is live here at youtube.com/Blind Metal Gamer and will be distributed on Anchor via Spotify, Castbox, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and much more. So, the first order of business for the evening is going to be the PS4 C-bomb update. Now, what this means is the PS4 has a CMOS battery inside of it. And when that CMOS battery dies, that means your PS4 will effectively be useless. Now, you're probably wondering, Blind Metal Gamer, why are you talking about this now? Why are you discussing this when every other YouTuber and content creator has discussed it? I want to give my thoughts and my theory as to why they may have done this. First and foremost, we're going to go into my thoughts, and my thoughts are as follows. I believe that Sony could have easily avoided this situation with the PS3 and PS4 if they wouldn't have used a CMOS battery. I mean, I know what they're trying to do. Okay, people are going to use their consoles, and then by the time the newer consoles are ready, the old CMOS battery will be dead. Well, in theory, okay, I see where they're coming from in theory. However, in practice, I believe that Sony made a bit of a mistake because these CMOS batteries are, they're just ticking, time bombs as far as console value, making your console worth anything. Because as of this podcast, there aren't that many that I know of people going over to PS5 yet. They're still waiting on more games and price to come down and things like that. So, and the restock, that shortage issue, which I'll get to in a bit, to all be affected. As we all know, that has affected everything as far as PS5. But this whole CMOS thing, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, wow. And this is something I really wanted to talk about. So I wanted to discuss it and give my thoughts. And I think that Sony did not do a good thing by doing that. I think they could have used maybe another form of battery or something to maybe extend the console's life where it wouldn't be affected in such a manner that it will be. The PS3 will be affected as follows. It will be affected by basically any downloads that you download after the store closes on July 2nd, useless once the CMOS battery dies. Now, physical games on PS3 will still play. And you're thinking, cool, right? This is awesome. I have, these awesome games on PS3 that I can still play, which is great. But I think that they could have easily avoided that route by not doing the whole CMOS battery thing for that. Now, you're probably wondering, Blind Metal Gamer, how is this affecting my PS4 console? Well, you're really going to hate me once you listen to this. It's going to affect you in the following ways. Again, let's say your CMOS battery dies. You've downloaded all these great games and all these great games, and you have a bunch of cool games on disc and you want to play them. Well, and when that CMOS battery goes kaput, that pretty much means your whole entire console on PS4 will go bye-bye with it. It'll be done. No more. A brick. Now, again, Sony, you shouldn't have used a CMOS battery. You're just screwing your consumers out of a product when it dies. Because, like I said, as of now, during, the situation of the world that's going on, there is a lot of people that aren't going to buy PS5s right away. They're going to wait probably, let the bugs and kinks get worked out, then get it. So obviously PS4s are still going to sell pretty good, and it's kind of dumb to have these big CMOS batteries die like this, and then they end up going and getting um, rendering the PS4 useless. Now, you're probably wondering how this would affect the PS5. It's going to affect it probably in the exact same way, is my guess. Um, there was a site that did have a PS5 be opened and tested with the removal of the CMOS battery, and I believe from what they said, yes, it actually does make it a lot worse in that aspect. So, uh, definitely something to keep in mind, something to think about. So, that's not a good thing. I don't think I'm not a supporter of it. The CMOS battery. I know that Microsoft Xbox One does not use a CMOS battery. So there's that. And then you're probably wondering about, well, how would this affect me as a consumer? Well, any consumer really. When that PS4, PS5, that CMOS battery dies, it's done. It's going to be gone unless you replace it and reconnect to the server somehow. But I'm just giving my thoughts on the situation. Now I'm going to move on to another topic, and again, the name of this is my thoughts on the PS4 and 5 situation and more. So here's the and more part. For those of you who are fans of the band Iced Earth and are wondering about that, I'm sure it's been covered by Rockfeed, Loudwire, and a lot of other YouTube sources. But John Schaefer has pled guilty to 2 charges, uh, entering the Capitol building, and there was one other one. I forget it right offhand. But he pled guilty to 2 of the 6 charges he was charged with. And as of this recording and as of this podcast, he is free for now. But if convicted, he could face up to 30 years in prison. Now, as a fan of the band of Iced Earth, I'm thinking, oh God, I hope to God he doesn't get the maximum sentence, because that'll be the end of the group right there. I know that's a selfish thing to say, and it's quite greedy in some ways, but it's the it's the truth. It'll be the end if that does happen. I did watch the video of him walking out of the courthouse. The reporter lady was asking him questions, and he just remained dead silent, man. He was dead silent. But I don't blame him. That's a smart thing to do. It's smart to keep your plans and whatnot silent. I would if it were me. But my thoughts are as follows. I think that he shouldn't have done it. He should have focused on his music career and on his band. But, again, we all as humans make mistakes. And I totally get it. I'm not one of those, oh my God, I'm going to turn my back on so-and-so because they screwed up or whatever. No, I'm not like that. I just believe that once this situation is settled and done, things will get back to normal, and that will be good for him. So, my thoughts as far as a fan of the band, I'm like, wow, because a lot of the band members quit Iced Earth. So, they have that going for them. They're going to have to find all new members, new front vocalists, new guitarists, etc. Now, the big one, the one thing that I really wanted to discuss as far as the PS5 re-shortage, or the shortage, I mean. I think that it's going to be going on for a while. This is my own personal theory, that the PS5 shortage is probably going to go on till maybe the holiday season of 2021, or maybe even early 2022, because we're still in the midst of this whole global pandemic situation, and that's affected a lot of things. Game development. I know of some games that were delayed because of the whole pandemic that's going on. And my thoughts are, if you're going to delay your game, delay it to where it's going to be a better product. Take the time to make the product better and give gamers a product that they can be proud of and enjoy. So again, this whole shortage issue, I think what Sony ought to do is take this time. Any type of kinks or flaws that's in the PS5, they should work to get those resolved. That way, when they have a full set of stock and they can make them readily available to consumers, consumers such as myself or whoever will know that the product is not flawed, that it is not um, going to crash on them or anything like that, and then it's foolproof. I always say when a console comes out, don't get it day one. Give it some time for the bugs to get worked out. Then go buy it because then you'll have reason to buy it because you'll know it's foolproof and you'll be able to enjoy it for longer. And you'll know that all of the kinks and bugs are pretty much done and worked out of that. So as for any issues with PS5 right now, yeah, they do have some issues. I actually talked to Sony because I had questions about the PS5 myself. And the representative told me, they said, Blind Metal Gamer, they're having issues with rest mode and system storage. They did give it an update where you can store your PS5 games onto an external hard drive. However, you cannot play them from the external hard drive that you have them stored on. You have to store them, put them back on the SSD in order for them to play on the console. And you only get 640 gigs of storage for games after the initial load and all of the boot and all that. And the representative told me that as far as updates are concerned, if you're wondering, if anybody's wondering out there who's listening, you do have to have X amount of space for the update to work correctly. If not, you have to go into safe mode and boot it that and do it that way. And I had to do that on my fat PS4. It was a pain in the ass. I literally had to boot it in safe mode, download files, put those files on there manually. It was like, oh my god, I never want to do this again. So, again, now I know that as a consumer, I can assess it as far as PS5. It would be the same type of concept. So, you have to, by you, I mean listeners that are listening that are wondering if PS5 is still worth going out and buying. My advice would be wait and let them get these issues worked out. The rest mode issue is that it's basically crashing PS5s and breaking them, making them useless. So, personally, I'm going to wait a few months, then reassess the situation and go from there. Because as a consumer and as a content creator, I want to make sure the product is foolproof and feature proof. That way, when I buy it to create content for you guys, that you know you're going to get the absolute best. The best that I have to offer, the best that I can give you on that console, and the best overall product as a whole. Because I want to give you all the absolute best when it comes to my work, not only on here, on StreamYard, but on PlayStation and when doing gaming related streams as well. So, I really want to let everyone know that that's my plan as far as that. Hey, viewer, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? So, what do you think so far of the things that's going on in terms of what I've talked about, the John Schaefer situation, the situation with the PS4 and PS5? I think it's all crazy. I mean, it's nuts. It is insane. So now I'm going to go on and talk about my update to game streaming. This is a perfect segue for it. As for my game streaming, you're probably wondering, hey, Blind Metal Gamer, why have you not been game streaming for a while? I'm giving it a little break, to be honest, a little break, and I'm reassessing this schedule and I've came up with the following schedule. So, beginning this Thursday, which will be April 22nd, I'll be streaming gameplay on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And what this, basically entails is the other days of the week I will not be streaming gameplay at all. So every Thursday through Saturday, starting this week, and my start times will be either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. I don't know which one yet. I'm going to have a poll over on Twitter regarding that. So if you want to go follow me on Twitter at Blind Metal Gamer, you can do so to check that out. I'll have that poll up probably tomorrow or maybe sometime tonight, but be looking for that over on Twitter at Blind Metal Gamer regarding the time that you would like to see me stream live on YouTube with the new schedule. I also posted a poll about if you want to see retro games streamed on there, but I'm sure when this is up and when people are listening, it might be done with. So if you want to, check that out, I may do a repost of that sometime this week. I don't know yet. So yeah, that pretty much, in a nutshell, sums up, my game streaming update, my thoughts on this whole PS4 situation and PS5 situation, and the John Schaefer situation. And finally, I want to talk about one other thing that's kind of on my mind: the future of Ice Earth. Now, again, I've talked about the situation that's going on briefly with John. I don't want to get too much into that. But my theory is this: if this thing does happen and he gets the maximum sentence, Ice Earth's going to be done as we know it. There's no way it's going to continue. I'm just thinking realistically and in a manner that's not too far-fetched, because, I've heard people say, Ice Earth is still going to continue. He'll be done with this, and then he'll be carrying on as usual. We don't know what's going to happen. We as fans do not know. And I'm only speculating. So this whole content here is all pure speculation. So just take it with a grain of salt when you listen to it and comment. But I think personally, if he does not, if the best thing happens and he gets the minimum sentence of 3.5 years, 3.5 years, then he'll be able to pick it back up and move on when he's done with that. But if he gets the full 30, let's see. There will be no way, because he'll be too old when he gets out, if he were to get out of that situation. But again, that's only my speculation and my thoughts on that whole thing. So with that being said, this has been this episode of the Blindside Podcast. Again, this will be available on all podcasting platforms with the exclusion of Apple. It will be here on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify, CastBox, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, and TuneIn Radio. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has a great week. I'll see you guys on the next podcast and in the next live game stream. Until then, I've been your host, Blind Metal Gamer, saying so long, everyone. Peace out. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Give me your thoughts on the John Schaefer situation, PS4 and 5 situation, and tell me, I want to know, what games do you all want to see me stream? I want to know what you want as fans and as viewers. So if there's anything in particular that you want as viewers, as fans, and if I have it, I will try my best to stream it live for you guys and within the new schedule that I've came up with. So until next time, I've been your host, Blind Metal Gamer, saying so long, everyone. Peace out and good night.